I hope it's fixed right now. I'm trying to make sure. I don't know what is going on with StreamYard this morning. Can you guys see me? Yes, this should be better now. Uh, I had to just redo another stream real quick. Yes, this should be better. Guys, sorry for the earlier hiccup. That is something. I This is streaming on YouTube, solely streaming on YouTube. I don't know what is going on with streaming on YouTube, but sorry for that technical hiccup. Finally, shout out to Mr. Efosa. Good morning, my bro. Good morning to you, Mr. Efosa. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Ah, StreamYard just made me look like a I don't know what I'm doing. Like, this is crazy. It just made me look silly this morning. I don't know what happened. I do not know what happened. These things happen. I'm not in charge. I'm on a platform, YouTube. They're in control. But we continue to fly as we build. So good morning to everybody. If you're watching the playback, please consider striking the like button. Very, very important. And subscribing. You're yet to subscribe. I will appreciate that duly if you do that. So where do we start from? Let's start from the asthma therapy. It's been a tough week for Arsenal, like losing our lead at the top of the summit by losing at home to Aston Villa. Then we're thinking we could go to the Champions League and make up for it. And unfortunately, we couldn't do that. We lost out in Champions League, and people have been hysterical. Oh, the season has been a bad season. Oh, let's write off the season. Arsenal have this horrible habit of falling off every time at this part of the season, which is not totally true. It's not totally true. Those kind of conversations are heavily, heavily nuanced. Why are we going heavily nuanced? Nobody's going to talk about the fact that in the last 3 seasons that people are saying we always fall off, we've been having crucial injuries to key players. And if those injuries happen to Man City or to the teams people consider as perennial winners, they will have the same issue to deal with. So sometimes we need to have some conversations in good faith. Everything is not about let's trigger the audience with certain news so that we can get clicks and likes and can sell the newspapers. Like, come on. And sometimes I don't even blame those that are doing that. But I blame the readers of newspapers and people who watch all this stream who cannot put it in perspective, who cannot have a little of a brain cell to think for themselves. You have to think for yourself sometimes. I understand disappointment. We're all disappointed. We are all disappointed, but it's not all gloom and doom. It's not as horrible as being projected online, especially online. The reason why the minority online have this say and the vitriol and the seemingly seem like the voice of the ordinary fans because they are the loudest, they have the loudest mic, they shout the loudest, they are the most shameless, and they push this narrative. And there's too many people who will buy into this narrative easily without looking at these conversations and looking at the nuance that are laced in between. So guys, let's not fall into trap of it's all doom and gloom. Arsenal are horrific, Arsenal can't make it. Yes, is it a possibility Arsenal might not win anything this season? I'm putting it out there. There is a possibility we do not win anything this season. I don't like it. It's not what I want, but there's a possibility. But does that mean the season was a write-off? The season is horrible? No, no, no. This the season is not a write-off, and the season has not been horrible. Let's be sensible, guys. Let's have some perspective. Like, even though we don't win, which I hope that is not the case, because we still have the Premier League to play for. I understand. Advantage Man City. They've won the T-shirt. They've done it. They have experience. They've done 3P. They might do it. I understand. But at the same time, this season has brought us some smiles. I know we want trophies. I want trophies more than smiles. But we are competing against, come on, a juggernaut in Man City, uh, who have been lucky not to have certain key players out for extended period of time. Look at how much we've had with Miss Party. We've missed Party this season. Party, Timber, those are crucial players who have maybe just turn our season around a little bit. We've missed those key players. So let's not all write off the season and say it's doom and gloom, because that's the popular narrative. That's the narrative that sells. That's the narrative that triggers a lot of people's emotions. So it's not all doom and gloom, in my opinion. It's not all doom and gloom for the season. And let's see what we can make of it. Let's see the narrative of we always fall out this time. Now we have most of our players injury free, but are they as fit as we want them to be? I don't think so. We're shouting, play Tomiyasu. Why is Arteta not playing Tomiyasu? We need to play Tomiyasu in these games. And we saw in the first 20 minutes against Bayern that Tomiyasu is not fully fit. Why is he not playing Smith Rowe? Obviously, Smith Rowe is not fully fit. These guys watch these guys every day in training. You think Arteta want to lose? I don't see Arteta as someone who wants to deliberately lose. He is watching his players. He has more information than us. We are just projecting and speculating from the outside. When you are speculating from the outside, you are not armed with all the relevant information that will make you make an informed decision. So sometimes we need to cut these managers a slack. Do not fall for the troll of the narrative. Oh, sack Arteta. Like all those people that shout sack Arteta is just hilarious. Sack him. Based on what? What's the logic? Oh, we should have won a trophy. I agree, we should be winning a trophy. But sometimes look at the competition you're facing. Look at the ill luck. Look at the injuries sometimes that make us miss out in this thing. So we cannot be just one-sided. We cannot be just one side in these conversations. We cannot be just one sided. So I have a message I needed to respond to that was sent to me yesterday, and I promised I was going to answer it via this morning stream. And let me answer it real quick. Another thing why we go on bad form in 3 seasons, a draw and 2 losses recently is similar to before we went to Dubai. That's kind of a bit let me try and reread it. Maybe my eyes are playing tricks with me. Another thing why we go on bad form in 3S, a draw and 2 losses is similar to before we went to Dubai. Keep happening every season to Wenger last year's. Okay. Like I said, I was going to respond to this. These things keep happening. Have you ever factored why this keeps happening? Like I said, this part of the season, unfortunately, in the last few years, it has happened to Wenger, to Emery, and to Mikel Arteta. That unfortunately, we have key players who get injured at this time of the year. That's just it. We have key players that get injured this part of the year. So you cannot take out that out of the conversation. Key players are the ones that propel you to win certain games. If Man City have Rodri out for the rest of the season, they are effed. But for plenty of seasons, we have always thought it was De Bruyne. De Bruyne is very important, but Rodri is the most important for Man City. Unfortunately, he has not been injured. You think Arsenal have done the invincible and won those trophies if Henry was missing key parts of the season for Arsenal? No. I don't care how great your squad is. Even the Real Madrid squad, if they have Ronaldo missing for extended period of time, they don't win three Champions League in a row. They don't win it. Right? They don't win it. You have key players in your squad. Everybody shouting, have a superb squad. You can have all the superb squad. Within that squad, you have certain players that are not replaceable. They have certain players in your squad that are not replaceable. It happens to the best of the best. You have to have certain key players that can play throughout the season without getting injured for you to maintain a certain level. You can get other players injured and replace them because they are not as key as those key players. So when we have these conversations that are heavily nuanced, let us be sensible. Not just throw it at every season. Arsenal has always fallen off at this part. Okay, if Arsenal is falling off by March or April, why do they fall off by March or April? Is it the manager's fault? Or is it the player's fault? Or are we missing out key players through injury? You have to look at all this listening of things I've just listed to make an informed judgment. Don't just fall for the narrative that opposition fans will push because they don't care. Those guys can push it because they don't care about good faith conversations. They just want to trend. For Arsenal fans, you can be a little bit more benevolent in your statement and say the reason why we are always falling short sometimes is because we're having key players for the majority of the season, which is very, very important in these conversations. I'm not here to blindly support Arteta. I'm not here to blindly support Arsenal. I'm here to bring sanity and objectivity to these conversations. So moving forward, after a bit of therapy, we've done this, the first 9 minutes of the show. We are playing Wolverhampton at the Molineux on Saturday. It's a must-win for us. We have to win that match. We have to win for us to retain a glimmer of hope. for us to win the Premier League, because people are saying it's for sure Man City are going to win. I understand the experience of Man City. I'm not writing Man City off. They have the experience. And 2 points in this title race in context is huge, and I get it. But one draw, we are back on 10 points, provided win our matches. And guess what? It's quickie bomb time. So it's not all doom and gloom. I know it's tough for us to wrap our heads around it, but it's part of the game. Shout out to Wisdom. Is injury the reason why Arteta gave Nketiah a new contract, where he knows it's not good enough for the team, buying project players like Fabio and Kivio and the likes? Now, let me answer that question real quick before I go back to the preview. Giving Nketiah a new contract is what sensible clubs will do, because it's pure profit when you're selling. Letting Nketiah go for free, it would have been the dumbest thing for Arsenal to do, because there's FFP. You need to regulate how much you spend. You don't have an infinite money to spend. No, there are regulations, right? Giving Nketiah, well, okay, if Nketiah doesn't work, you can sell him. But if you let him go last season, it affects our ability to spend in the future. So sometimes let's be balanced in this thing. I'm not saying Nketiah is good enough, but I understand the rationale why we gave Nketiah that contract, because you want to preserve his value. Nketiah can still be sold to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are keen on Nketiah, or a Brighton. There are teams in the EPL that will have Nketiah. We rather sell him or give me for free, Mr. Wisdom. I'm asking you directly. We rather sell Nketiah or give him for free, because you're asking for Isaac, you're asking for these marquee players. You need to buy them, and you cannot just be spending. There are restrictions for spending. There's FFP. We all know what Everton are facing. We all know what Nottingham are facing. We know all the charges of Man City are facing. There are rules. So giving Nketiah is rational, is sensible in my opinion, not because of his playing. Now, if you give contract to players because we want them to play, yes, but if it doesn't work out playing, you can sell them for profit and reinvest that profit to bring better players. So I understand the rationale. For Fabio Vieira, there's a player in there. I've not given up on it. Let's not forget he has had a few injuries. He came in, we even signed him injured. There is a player in there. Sometimes we are too much in a haste. Patience is a virtue. I'm not saying be infinitely patient, sensible patience. I think there's a player in there, in Fabio Vieira, in my opinion, is the best passer of the ball in the team. I stick to that. All of us give it to Odegaard. I understand that. But I've seen the quality of Fabio Vieira. Can he show more of it? Yes. As injury derailed him, as some derailed him, yes. But there's a player in there. So Fabio for me is good. Kivio, I understand. I have concerns about Kivio. I think physically he's a bit frail. He's not a left back, he's a center half. So I will not judge him by playing him out of position. You are judging a player out of position, which is unfair. Mikel Arteta has put him there to do a job for us. I'm not going to judge Kivio ruthlessly when he's not playing his rightful position. I think that's unfair on Kivio and the like. So sometimes we need to be very, very balanced in our conversations, in our analysis of this thing. It's unfair to just say, why are we giving Nketiah a contract? Why are we giving the likes of Kivio? Why playing the likes of Kivio? So when Kivio was doing a job for us and we're winning, we liked him. Even though we know that is not his rightful position. He's a left center defender, not a left back. Suddenly, if he games, which I understand is not good enough for the left back position, you're going to write him off. I think that's that harsh from Wisdom. I think I've been a bit harsh. I think part of the team problem is mentality. They have to believe in themselves, but are they good enough? Could it be mentality, or they're not just good enough? I think the word mentality is being used loosely these days. Guys, please strike the like button. Please encourage the stream so it can go more in the algorithm. Guys, please, I'm appealing to you guys. Please strike the like button. It's very, very important to strike the like button. Please, guys, do that for me right now if you don't mind. So, mentality is what's thrown around when you're winning, even though you're not playing well. I do not believe in the loose use of mentality. I think if you're good enough, I don't care. So, are you telling me Sheffield United players don't have mentality? They're just good enough. So you have to look at how people use certain words and look at it objectively. It's not mentality. It's being good enough. If you are good enough, the way the context of people use mentality, I don't subscribe to it. You cannot tell me losing players don't have mentality. They want to lose. No, they are not just good enough to carry out that task at that time. Because you are good enough, you don't need to be shouting this mentality. I understand the concept of being mentally strong, not falling off. I get it, but the way it's loosely used in football, I do not subscribe to it because I think it's bollocks. If you're good enough, you're good enough. We saw against Bayern, the midfield was lacking. And Mr. Rice, this is not me piling on Mr. Rice. He must see Rice has all the mentality in the world, but the skill set, in my opinion, to be that DM that takes us to the next level offensively, he doesn't have it. So Rice has a lot of mentality. I think he's a strong player. I can see it, but it's the skill set that is not good enough sometimes. No, January, no, January, you turned down 30 million for Nketiah. Yeah, I will sell him at that time and we can't bring in somebody else. The reason we turned it down was because selling him at that time, it could be detrimental to the team, especially because of the FFP. If like guys, let's have a balanced conversation. The reason we couldn't bring anybody in January or just couldn't bring anybody after Timber got injured was because of FFP. Let's not forget, we got Raya on loan. We got Raya on loan, meaning we're on a tight budget. We don't want to breach the FFP rules. Let's not let our emotionality cloud our objectivity. Guys, let's not do that. Come on, man. We turned it down because you can't bring anybody else at that time. It won't balance the books at that time. You have to wait for the next fiscal year to do that. Let's not make a judgment on things we might not have the full information on and react adversely to them. That's not fair on yourself and not fair on the club. You have to make sure you have the right information for it to react appropriately to certain things that are being thrown around in the media. So that's what I'll say. I don't understand why they are saying project players like Fabio. Is every signing in football a marquee signing? I don't get why we always want flashy things. Exactly. Shout out to Mr. Foster. Like everybody wants a new shining toy. Everybody come. Even Real Madrid don't have a litany of marquee signings. They don't have a litany of marquee. Is Jeselu a marquee signing? Is Jeselu a marquee signing? So sometimes the way Arsenal fans, sometimes the way we are overly harsh on our team, and we show other teams more grace and we show our team, it's disturbing. It's extremely disturbing the way we are willing to show other teams more grace than our team. So that's not fair enough. That is not fair enough. That is not fair enough. It's not like I'm saying all our signings should be marquee, but my point is that we don't have enough clutch players that can carry the team on the shoulder when the team is down. Look at City, for example. But looking at City, for example, was it Pep that bought De Bruyne? No, he didn't buy De Bruyne. So sometimes you are lucky to inherit players who can turn clutch. Sometimes you can buy clutch players. There are several ways of getting clutch players. We didn't buy Henry as a clutch player. We bought Henry when he didn't do well at Juve and became a clutch player at Arsenal. So it's not that you can just go to the market and buy clutch players. Clutch players are very expensive to acquire. You need to buy them before they become clutch. Did Liverpool buy Salah as a clutch player? Now, was he scoring good goals at Roma? But it was that clutch player they bought him. But he turned to a clutch player under Klopp. So people are shouting clutch players. They are not readily available like that. You need to buy them before they become clutch players. Or when they are clutch players, if you have the money, you do it. So it's not that Arsenal don't want clutch players, but they're not littered all over the gaff to go and get a clutch player. Can we just be a little bit? No, this is not. See, I understand the challenge. I understand the pushback from wisdom, which is all fair. You should have this kind of conversation. This is not an echo chamber where you have to agree to everything I'm saying, and I do not have to agree to everything you're saying. It's a healthy debate, which is fair. Like clutch players are not available. That's why I was having a conversation with Mr. Efosa the other day that I can see that Isak is pre-clutch. The next big thing Isak goes to, will become a clutch player there. You can see the signs, even though we can debate the injury concerns of Isak, but you can see if he's that player that can touch to a clutch player in the right environment and the right team. So clutch players are not just marquee players, not just listed over the market. So some players we call marquee are not even marquee players. So, like, look at Real Madrid when they bought Vini. He's a clutch player, and Rodrigo. They're clutch players. Were they clutch players when they bought them? No. They're players that had huge potentials, and Madrid spotted them and got them, and they've turned to clutch players at Madrid. So it's for Arsenal and the scouting team to start looking at players that have those signs of being clutch. So let's just be a tad reasonable. How many clutch players do City have? Have City been better than us? They are 2 points ahead of us, and we both got knocked out of the Champions League at the same time. We are literally similar. Exactly. It's not far off. We are just overreacting. We are being triggered by the narrative online. Arsenal fans get easily triggered by the narrative online. Oh, you bottled it. You bottled job. Every time when it comes to March, April, you bottle it. That thing has actually stuck with a lot of Arsenal fans' head, and they carry that along. See, I cannot deprogram you if you can't deprogram yourself. You used to put things in perspective and look at things for what they are. We are just 2 points away, just a draw away from catching up with City, provided we are winning our games. We are 2 points away from City, provided we win all our games. So it is not all doom and gloom, guys. It's not doom and gloom. It is not all doom and gloom. It is not all doom and gloom. So I understand we will need clutch players, and I agree we need to get a few clutch players. How do you get this clutch player? How many genuine clutch players do we have in the world that are available for purchase? Maybe someone can let me know in the comment section. How many genuine clutch players? Because Mr. Wisdom, you've been talking about clutch players. I want you to tell me the available clutch players we can go and get at this moment. Let me know. Because I know clutch players that we call clutch players are not readily littered around that you can just go and grab one off the shelf. They are not littered around like that. So either you develop one or you buy one pre-clutch. That is why when I saw the links yesterday that Arsenal actually keenly interested in Isak, even though Newcastle are saying they don't want to sell. I don't believe that nonsense. If you go there with the right money and you talk to the player, come on. Newcastle ain't winning anything in common history, not because they don't have the richest owners, but they're the richest club. They don't have the FFP is kind of holding them back from flexing their muscle. But Arsenal have the advantage that can flex their muscle based on our history, based on the money we made from the Champions League, and based on our league position. We have more money to spend and to splurge. So we can go to Newcastle just like Man used to do in the good old days, go to other teams and pick their star players. So Arsenal should be able to do that. Go to Newcastle and pick their players. It's very, very important. Please, this message is from Mr. Fossa. Please, if you watch football, you will know they are still 2-3 years away from City, the best team in the world for a reason. Don't let the table confuse you. I disagree with you, Mr. Wisdom. No. I disagree, and no, I'm not supporting Fossa because this is just my friend. I consider you a good fellow on this platform. I said Man City are not overly better than us. They are not. I understand the history that they've been the best team, right? But Man City are not overly better than us. We've had a few injuries that make us look a little bit susceptible. Partey, Yorin Timber has been out for a significant part of the season. Even Jesus, that we are considering that we've outgrown. Jesus has, how many games have Jesus played compared to the injuries City have had? Yeah, I'm sure they've had De Bruyne in and out, but De Bruyne is not that player that carries them the way he always carry them because of age and what's happening to him in recent times. So Man City are not overly better than us. Now that's just the truth. Let's not be carried away by what they've won in recent times. We're not going to dump on what they've won in recent times. Kudos to them, but they are not overly better than us like that. If you bring in one or two players, we'll catch up and surpass Man City. Defensively, we are better than them. The league table is not fooling us. They've conceded more goals than us. They concede more goals rapidly than us this season, and we've seen it. I said from the beginning of the season, even if Man City go ahead and win the season, win this league, they are not overly strong. They are not as great or good as they were last season, and that's just factual. They are not as good as last season. Haaland is seemingly falling off the perch. So let's not overly embellish Man City. We'll give them their kudos and give them their praise for what they've done in recent times. But Man City are not overly better than us. Now, you cannot say the table doesn't lie when it favors Man City. When it does favor Man City, you don't say don't let the table fool you. Mr. Wilson, you can't argue both. One moment you are saying the table doesn't lie. Then when it doesn't favor, we flip it that. Don't let the table fool you. You can't do both. This is not me trying to pick side or pitch you against Mr. Efosa. I'm just saying you have to be consistent. If you say the table doesn't lie, you cannot change the narrative now and say, don't let the table fool you. No. We're not 2 or 3 years away from Man City. We are 1-2 players from Actually, I'm not saying surpassing what Man City have won, but passing Man City. If you sign the right 2 to 3 clutch players or clutch players that we can sign, we overtake Man City. Man City are not overly that strong team that people were saying. Like, nah, they are not. They are a good side, right? On merit based on they won 3 trophies last season. So we can still consider them until the end of the season the best team in the world and the World Club, which is fair. But they are not 2, 3 years ahead of us now. Nah, don't say that. Like, come on, we took 4 points from Man City. We took 4 points from Man City. So they are not overly 2 or 3 years ahead of us. They are not. They are not. We can see their players declining. Bernardo Silva is declining. De Bruyne is declining. Whether you want to accept it or not, they are on a decline. While Arsenal have a younger team that is ascending. So two things can be right. They are a good team, but they are not as great as they used to be. Let's see what they can do in the transfer market to augment themselves, but they are not. We are not 2 or 3 years away from Man City. If you say we are 2 or 3 players away from Man City, I can entertain that conversation or that debate. But 2, 3 years away from Man City, absolutely no. I disagree vehemently with that. So let me round up real quick with the preview what I was doing before then. Give me a minute. So Wolves at Molineux is a must win for us. Is a must win that we must win at Molineux. It's very, very important. We don't drop points. We don't drop points. It's very, very important that we go there. I know confidence is not high. I agree to that, but that doesn't mean we should forget our eyes on the prize. It is not impossible to still win this league, provided we win our games. I don't believe Man City will win all the rest of their games, even though that's the popular narrative. But we have to make sure we keep our eyes on the prize. Go to Molineux. They don't score a lot of goals. They are not that team that score a lot of goals. They are missing their threat in Neto. Cunha is back. Chang is back. But they don't score a lot of goals. If you look at, I think I put it right there. Let me see if I have the slide real quick. Now, if you look at this, right, the Wolves have won just one match in 5, 2 losses, 2 draws. Yeah, Arsenal's record is not that great. 3 wins in 5, one with 1 draw, 1 loss. So look at this one more time, and let me take this banner out of the screen real quick. Look at this. Wolves have a -5 goal difference. They don't score a lot of goals. After 32 games, they have -5 on the goal difference. So Wolves are not that team we should be overly afraid of. I get it. We are not looking right at the moment, but Wolves are not a team we should be overly afraid of. I think we can go to Wolves and win comfortably. That's my opinion. So I get it. Confidence is not high, but we can do it. And I believe we'll do it. I've already done a preview, guys. After this live stream, go and check out the preview I did for Arsenal, Wolves against Arsenal. Make sure you strike the like on that video too and enjoy that content. So Isaifosa has responded. How are we 2 to 3 years away? We have completed without a 20 to 25 goal a season striker, and I'm sure I watch more football than you. Both of you have watched more football. I understand the debate that is going on, but like I said, it's not that I'm taking sides with Mr. Fosa, but I agree with Mr. Fosa. We are not 2 or 3 years away from Man City. If you say 2 or 3 players away, but not 2 or 3 years away, just get the right marquee players and we'll supersede them. If we had like an Isaac instead of Jesus, that takes us on that level. If we have a Zubimendi instead of a Rice, now I'm not throwing shade on Rice. People say, "Oh, all of a sudden you hate Rice." I don't hate Rice, but I've seen enough to tell you that Rice is a defender playing DM. Defensively, fantastic, but when you need your DM to do, look, we all watch the game against Bayern, right? We saw Lama and Goretzka. They are defensive-minded players, but they have some creative bone in them. They move the ball creatively. They're not doing side-to-side passing like Rice. It's too stale. It's too blunt. I'm sorry. Moving forward, he can play certain games, but if you are playing games against the European best, Rice is overly defensive. He can't take us next level. There's a different why Martinelli and Saka flourished under when Partey was playing the DM. Since Rice has been playing the DM, look at the difference. Look at the difference. When Partey plays the DM, Saka wasn't struggling this much. Rice played the DM. There's a difference. We are all quick to attack Saka and Martinelli that they've dropped off. I'm not saying they might not have dropped off individually, but they are mitigating courses. And I'm looked at it well, and I'm saying our DM is not doing what it's supposed to do, unfortunately. But defensively, fantastic. Offensively, absolutely ass, in my opinion. We will be there in Pep we trust. Rice and got those passes is plain and bland. And yeah, he doesn't have it. Then what's your prediction for the game? I predicted a 2-0, Mr. Wisdom. I said I'm predicting Arsenal to win 2-0 against Wolves. I understand Wolves will give us the torrid time. I understand Wolves are a dangerous yo-yo team. But if we convert our chances, like what we've been suffering in the last few games, that it's in the first half, we are not converting our chances. We are not converting. If we convert our chances, we're not having these tales of suddenly Arsenal's falling off. So if we convert our chances, we'll beat Wolves at the Molani. They are not as threatening. I just showed you their goal record -5. They are at 32 after 32 games. They are not scoring goals like that. They don't score. They're not a goal scoring team like that. So don't concede and score. You beat Wolves, right? And they don't have Neto. Neto is actually injured. So it is what it is. Let's take our advantage. In the league, we might not be far away. I'm talking about Europe. As our European record has been poor. Yes, on paper, but the way we just throw out this thing. Okay, let me reverse it. Was Pep European record with Bayern fantastic? I'm asking you, Mr. Wisdom. When Pep was at Bayern, was it fantastic? How long did it take Pep to win Champions League with Manchester City? Because sometimes the way we just look at our own and attack our own, and we give a lot of grace to the opposition. Pep never even won the Champions League with Bayern, and Bayern had a litany of star players. Bayern could go to Dortmund, buy their key players. Bayern could go to any team in the German league and in the world and buy their key players. And Pep did not win the Champions League there, right? Pep came to Man City. It took him how long and how much investment to finally win one Champions League last season? How long has Pep been at Man City? But somehow, Arteta's European record is horrible. Come on, guys, come on. This is the way we attack our own are extremely benevolent to the ops. It baffles me. I'm not personally attacking your wisdom. I'm speaking in general. This is not a personal attack to your wisdom. I'm just speaking in general. You cannot be magnanimous to your opposition, but overly strict to your own. Pep, the best manager. We know that Messi and Xavi were key players for him winning the Champions League at Barcelona, right? I'm not saying Pep is not a fantastic manager, but how long did it take him to win at Bayern and at City when he didn't have Messi? Come on, let's be fair. So sometimes I get it. I'm not saying Arteta's European record on paper is fantastic. No, it's subjective. It's very subjective, and we have to look at it with a keen eye. But there are circumstances and nuances. All these conversations that are nuance based, we need to apply the right nuances. Not just say, so it's poor for this. Or, It's not all red or green. There's a yellow in between. Most conversation in life is not black and white. They are nuance based. So I'm not going to go that far and say Arteta's European record is poor because on paper it looks poor on paper, but if you dig deep, you understand the context to it. And this is Arteta, who is his first rodeo, is Arsenal manager. This is his first job. Pep is experienced, well seasoned, and he struggled for how many years to win the Champions League at Man City. He didn't even win it at Bayern. So let's be fair. Even Jose Mourinho did not win the Champions League with Madrid, and he has star players there. Jose Mourinho did not win the Champions League with Madrid. Is Jose at that time suddenly a bad manager? Oh, because Jose Mourinho is a better sounding Portuguese name we love, and Arteta is the Spanish Brendan Rodgers and Pep's convoy. Coming from Arsenal fans, sometimes I don't know why we do that. I don't know why we do that. We got to the quarterfinal in our first Champions League campaign when we improve to the semis or final, you still complain about it. These things people listen to without context is baffling. That's what I was saying. The context has to be applied. And the nuance has to be applied in these conversations. You can't be saying Pep is this, and we check Pep's record. We're saying that he has struggled to win Champions League too, except when he was at Barca, and we know why. The quality players he had. Look at the raft of quality in the midfield and attack he had at Barca. Arteta has never had that kind of quality in his team. So let's have a properly nuance-based conversations. Let's do that, please. So is it safe to say Pep has paid his due at Arteta? It's safe to say time and chance can make you or break you. Yeah, time and chance. I'm not saying Pep is not a fantastic manager, but time and chance can make you or break you. Like I just gave you 3 examples. Jose had fantastic players at Madrid. When I was at Madrid, he did not win the Champions League. Yeah, that Madrid team was. He leaves Madrid. Guess what? And Zidane wins the Champions League with similar players. So sometimes these conversations are nuanced. Pep doesn't win the Champions League with Bayern. As fantastic as Pep was, and Bayern was overwhelmingly the best team in Germany and quality players in Europe, but he couldn't win the Champions League with Bayern. Comes to Man City, takes him how many years to win the Champions League at Man City. So we have to have nuance-based conversations when we're doing this. And just saying one person is bad for this, and one person will give a bit of grace. No, let's extend both grace to both managers when having these conversations. So that'll be all for now. I have to get ready to go to work. Shout out to everybody that have made this a very, very interactive. I'm sorry for the beginning. This is not me. StreamYard on YouTube delay the visuals for some reason. It is what it is. You're watching the playback, be kind enough to strike the like button. I appreciate you guys striking the like button. Shout out to Mr. Efosa for being here. Biggie Dave for being here. Mr. Wisdom, even though you make it very interactive. Shout out to you too. Shout out to Go With The Flow, the ops in the house. Shout out to everybody that have made this live stream this morning very interactive and productive. I wish everybody a productive day. Keep supporting the team you support, which is Arsenal. Majority of us are Arsenal fans here. We can disagree. I understand the disagreement sometimes, but let's make sure we look at things with the nuances, the context, so we can have the right take before we just go all ballistic and hysterical. Because I understand the YouTube game is more of entertainment than logic and reasoning, because entertainment sells. Regarding the distastefulness of the entertainment these days, entertainment sells. I'm not going to stoop that low to do that. I'm not saying I'm high and mighty. There's a level of entertainment I'm willing to go to. Everything is not kiki and haha. Sometimes we have to have some sense and sensibility when discussing these things. Are they sensitive? Yes. I am not proud that Arsenal might not win anything this season. But if Arsenal doesn't win anything this season, I'm not going to say sack Arteta. He has taken a team to on that level. But we keep on improving. We keep on improving. All we now need, and we are hearing from the news yesterday that the Kroenkes are willing to back him to bring in these clutch players that can take us to the next level. Once we get to the next level and we don't win, then we can have that conversation of sacking Arteta. The reason we are not winning right now is majorly injuries, and we need some clutch quality players in our ranks. It's not the manager's fault. The manager can do all the coaching. If you don't have certain little clutch players in your team, it could be your downfall sometimes. So it is what it is. Keep supporting the team as much as you can support, and make sure you are positive to yourself, you are good to yourself, and you are good to the team in context, provided the team is doing what they have to do. Like the video, if you're watching the playback, I will appreciate that. Consider subscribing here to subscribe, and make sure you turn on the notification bell. Very, very important. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.